Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of Podcast Named Deferred. I am your host, Seven. With me is my hetero life mate, the sexiest man in Santa Clarita, former features writer for MLB Trading Card Magazine, and also, of course, covered some teams for the Santa Clarita American. It's Craig Newton, everybody.
Good evening.
Man, that shirt is just fantastic, you know?
Isn't it, though?
We just have such great... It's crazy how we have the same taste in clothing.
It hides my man boobs. I'm very happy.
We're gonna have to get you one of those senior training bras to help you out a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh man, we got a lot to talk about tonight. We got some good playoff races going. I am currently trying to keep an eye on the Red Sox A's game that is going on in Fenway, bottom of the ninth. Last I knew, things were all tied up. We're going to talk about the playoff races in the American League and the National League, along with the fact that I think we're going to start with this just because I think this is an interesting topic. So let's talk about Giancarlo Stanton. Up to today, over the course of his career, Giancarlo Stanton has hit 449 home runs. Within the next few seasons, because he is only 35 years old, within the next few seasons, he will pass the 500 home run mark. Now, it is worth noting that outside of Miguel Cabrera, who isn't eligible for the Hall of Fame yet, every other player that has hit more than 500 home runs is in the Hall of Fame, and Miggy will be first or second ballot himself, as he should be. So, my question to you, Craig, is first of all, do you think Giancarlo Stanton will get the call to Cooperstown when he becomes eligible after he retires? If he crosses that, and now this is all predicated on him crossing that 500 home run mark.
Yes.
Okay.
Will he be first ballot Hall of Famer? No. But yes, he will. Because like I said, everybody that's hit 500 is in.
Okay.
It's still a high mark. It's still a high water mark to hit.
It's a remarkable achievement.
Yeah.
What's up, buddy? Good to see you, buddy. It is a remarkable achievement in baseball to be able to do that. It's a very rarefied air, for sure. Absolutely. And I think he gets in, but I think it takes a little while. I'm kind of with you there. And then the other question that I wanted to ask you, and chat for you guys that are watching, if you want to sound off in the comments if you think he's Hall of Famer, if he breaks that 500 home run mark, I'm interested to see your thoughts. The other question I want to ask you is, I was discussing this with some people today in one of the sports chats that I'm in, and the argument was made that should he cross that 500 home mark and gets the nod to the Hall of Fame, he would be the least impactful 500 home run hitter in baseball history to date. Would you agree?
Yes.
I'm torn on it because, and the primary reason why I'm torn on it, I want to get your thoughts on this. A large portion of his career from when he came up in 2010 through 2017, he was with the Marlins. Now, through that time, he hit 267 home runs across that 8 years. Worth noting, he's in his 8th year with the Yankees and has only hit 182 home runs with the Yankees. So definitely less in the second half of this 16-year time frame so far, if you will. But is it, when you consider the fact that he hit over half of his home runs to date with the Marlins, impact and maybe kind of sway it back towards, not being as least impactful? Does that impact anything at all?
Are you asking which cap he's going to go in wearing?
No, I'm asking, does the fact that he's, over half of it at this point, half of his career was spent with the Marlins. Is that something that impacts the feeling of how impactful he's been as a player? Because he was overshadowed by where he was at?
I don't think so. I mean, it's not his fault that he got, the Marlins. The fact that he stood out with that team, and it was a pretty crappy league back then too. Speaks to his talent, speaks to his every season consistency. That's the hardest part, being consistent every single season with the numbers, and he's done it.
And he has, because when you look, I was looking at his stats, and for those of you that are watching, if you want to check what I'm saying, baseballreference.com is where I get all my stats from. It's fantastic. He's 162 game average over the course of his career. So this is, playing a full 162 games. 42 home runs, 258 batting average. Just last night, it's 258, 345, 258, 345 on base percentage, 527 slug, 872 OPS.
Every single team would be happy to have that.
Exactly. And so that's where the question comes in. Is he really the least impactful player to hit 500 home runs when he's putting up numbers like that?
Yes.
Okay. I was just curious about your thoughts. I struggle with it, but I get the argument that he has, because, you look at, accolades wise, he has one ALCS MVP, one All-Star Game MVP, 2 Silver Sluggers. He won a home run derby. He has one MVP, which he won in, 2017, his last year with the Marlins. That was, he hit 281 that year. It led the league in OPS and RBIs and home runs that year. 59 home runs that year. That's pretty good.
I think having the MVP with the Marlins, that really stands out.
It does. It does. And I think that, especially, because when you look at that team, like being able to say, I had remarkable performance on the Marlins, because like that year he hit 281. Like that's fantastic. What's up, Kyle? And so I wanted to get your opinion, because like I think it gets in. Because I think only 29 players have ever hit 500 home runs. 28 of them are in the Hall of Fame. The only reason the 29th is because he's still got 3 years before he's on the ballot.
Yep.
Because Miggy, his last season playing was 2023. So, he has 24, 25. So he's got 3 more years before he's eligible.
Here's a question for you. Who's next up in the numbers that has a shot at 500 home runs?
Trout's pretty close. He's at least I think Trout's at like 399, but I don't know that he hits it. Exactly. Yeah. That's the question. Does Trout, because Trout's at 399. Last night he was at 390. It might be a 400 by now. I'm going to look, but Mike Trout's he's 14 years in, 34 years old, had a lot of injury issues. 399 career home runs. So he's still the same number. Realistically, he would have to have 3 good seasons, 2 to 3 good seasons to break 500.
Yeah. I'm afraid he's going to end up in the same category as Dale Murphy. Really good, but not Hall of Fame quality. Unfortunately, I mean, he was on track, a spherical track for the Hall of Fame, and injuries just bit him in the ass.
They did, and I think that he ends up being one that doesn't get it on the traditional ballot, but he ends up like a modern era committee goes back at some point and brings him in after his eligibility is up. I think that's how he gets it because and I think the reason why the modern era committee brings him in at some point is because he is a big story about his era.
Yeah.
And that's one of the deciding factors that we should be looking at for the Hall of Fame. So to that end, I think he gets in on a modern era committee vote at some point after his eligibility, his traditional eligibility for the ballots. That's just
I agree, and I hope so because he's good for baseball. He's been good for baseball. Hell of a player, and the injury is just it's a damn shame.
It is. It absolutely is, and I absolutely love Trout. I mean, you think about it, the talent of Mike Trout, the talent of Shohei Ohtani. The Angels had both of them for 5 years?
Yep.
And didn't do a damn thing with it.
Nope. They forgot about pitching. Angels fans, like I legitimately feel bad for Angels fans because of that fact. Because I mean, you look at not just the having Trout and Shohei, but there was all that stuff with the clubhouse and dealing drugs out of the clubhouse and whatever else that was that happened 5-10 years ago. That one pitcher giving drugs to that one pitcher died because of drugs that he bought from a fellow player. Like I feel bad for Angels fans. And I think that everything that they dealt with as far as those scandals were concerned, like you have to be a baseball fan, like a true baseball fan to know about those. But because it was who it was just wasn't covered as much. Like the ESPN didn't spend days talking about the scandal of the drugs being sold out of the Angels clubhouse. Like it might have gotten a brief remark by somebody at some point in the middle of the night or late afternoon when nobody was watching. And that was it. Yeah.
Like if that happened in the Yankees clubhouse, the Red Sox clubhouse, the Dodgers clubhouse, like everybody would know exactly what drugs, how much, like the list would be endless of things that we would know about that.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, no, that's insane. So let's talk about these playoff races right now. Games that are going on. We'll go ahead and throw that out. Top of the 10th, Boston and the A's are still tied, and the Padres are up on the Mets 7-4. The Mets free fall just continues, man. This is
not far enough for me. I mean, the Giants had a shot, and then the damn Mets woke up and decided, "Hey, we're a Major League Baseball team. I guess we better play and win some games."
Well, but with the Giants, like the thing that was frustrating because Martha's a Diamondbacks fan, so I see those scores every night. The last 2 nights, last night and the night before, the Giants dropped the game to the D-backs, and so that put the D-backs are actually only a game and a half out now.
Yeah, I know.
And the Giants are 3. Like that's ridiculous.
Yep.
I legitimately just for the storylines want to see a Giants Red Sox World Series. And I think MLB would love to see something like that too. Either Giants, Red Sox, like Yankees, Giants, Yankees, Dodgers, Red Sox, Dodgers, something like that. Something where you got both coasts. Because if it ends up being what I think it's going to be, which is the Brewers and the Jays, MLB is going to be pissed. Because those ratings are going to suck.
Yep.
True baseball fans will still watch. You'll get all of Canada watching because hockey hasn't started yet. At least I don't think it has. Well, it will have at that point. So you're going to be fighting with that. But because it's the World Series, I'm pretty sure they would show out.
MLB won't be MLB itself. The entity will not be pissed because they've already made their money. It's already banked. They got it. They're done. It doesn't. So whoever shows up isn't going to affect their bottom line as an entity. It won't. Even if the viewership is down because the contracts were long ago signed. They got their money up front from the networks. So.
Yeah, but I know that they're right now they're finishing up negotiating the deals for the seasons for 26, 27, and 28. Which that makes me happy that it's that the media deals are signed for that long, because that incentivizes the owners to make sure they sit at the table and work out the CBA with minimal baseball loss, because otherwise that costs them money. It's now official. That costs some money. And so I think that matters quite a bit.
Excellent point.
It incentivizes them to, sit at the table rather than think that they own the table. You know what I mean?
Yep. Excellent point.
No, and no, Taylor, and you're right. And this is why we're at that point where it's like, he does not have a Hall of Fame career at this point. If he retires at the end of this season, he is not a Hall of Famer through traditional balloting. When it comes to pros and all of that through the Modern Era Committee, that's where I see him getting the recognition. But even that is still, possibly not going to happen just because of how marred by injury his career was. Yankees are up on the Twins right now, 8-5. Right now you would have the Yankees and the Astros playing in the divisional round, and then Boston facing off against the Mariners, but the Mariners are losing to the Royals right now, 7-4. So that could shift around because the Astros are beating the Rangers right now 5-2. So if the Astros win and the Mariners lose, that would put the Astros back up by half a game.
I'd be happy with the Yankees Astros matchup. I would.
Yeah, that's one of those matchups where you just, I hope they both lose. Go Team Meteor. Go Team Meteor.
Who cares who wins? Play ball.
But yeah, no, that's I mean, either way, it's the American League side. I think we're going to get some good matchups. I know that I'm going to be live. I was talking with somebody earlier. I'm going to do a live on TikTok for one of the National League wildcard games and one of the American League wildcard games. And then I will do each a National and American League division and LCS round. And then at least game 1 of the World Series. If it gets to game 7, I'll do one for that as well.
Nice.
So obviously it's something to do. I'm just going to be sitting in my office anyway.
Nice.
Borderlands 4 just came out. I mean, I probably should take some time away from that. Which, by the way, if you're a gamer, Borderlands 4 on console, fantastic. Seen a lot of trash about the PC version, but I don't have the money for a PC that'll run it, so it's good on console though. Anyway, And so let me ask you this, man. We kind of mentioned the Giants a little bit ago. They are up on they did beat the D-backs, by the way, 5-1. So they did kind of move back into a slightly better position.
The paper cut that just keeps on giving.
The paper cut that just keeps on giving. I mean, they're only a half game back of the D-backs at this point. So that's and the Mets are 2 games up on the D-backs right now. After the loss today, I would assume they're going to go down by at least half a game, which would put it to, a game and a half. So that race right there in the National League is still super close. In the American League, we pretty much know who it's going to be. It just might change the order a little bit for the wild cards and who's sitting in that 3 seed. But the National League has a little bit more of a competition.
The Giants are
Cubs
facing the Cardinals this weekend, so that could be interesting.
Well, the Cardinals are far enough back that they would need a miracle to win it at this point.
No, but the Giants could beat the Cardinals and still make it interesting towards the end.
Absolutely, and that's kind of where you have to. It's kind of where you have to pray because, like right now, the Giants officially, according to ESPN, according to ESPN, the Giants only have a 2.6% chance of making the playoffs.
So you're saying there's a chance? Woohoo!
Right. It's about the same amount of chance I have with getting with a blind Victoria's Secret model. 2.6%. And that's being generous. They probably rounded up. I definitely did. But no, it's this next couple weeks is going to be interesting because that race for the National League wild card is going to be interesting because the only team that's locked in right now, like for sure, is the Cubs as far as the wild card is concerned.
Yeah.
Obviously the Brewers are going to win their division unless they all of a sudden just fucking free fall. And lose out, which I doubt they would do.
No.
The Phillies are definitely the Phillies have locked down their division. They're probably at least the 2 seed. Depending on how things go, could end up with a 1 seed. But either way, they're getting a bye. Same with the Brewers. So your 3 seed is whoever wins the NL West, just like with the American League. And what's interesting about that part of that is, yes, the Dodgers are leading that division, but they've only got 2 games on the Padres.
Yep.
And this last, 10 games, they've got to beat Philly today, which I didn't even look at the score. And then it's the Dodgers and the Giants starting tomorrow. Arizona, and then Seattle. That's not an easy stretch.
Nope.
What do you think? So, what do you think happens within Major League Baseball? Should the Dodgers not even win the division?
Try it again. I think there'll be flags at full staff. I think they'll be cheering. I think there'll be heavy drinking. Possibly some recreational drug use will be involved. Maybe some threesomes along the way. I don't know. A mass celebration will take place.
Oh my God, that was great. Is that what? Because I mean, obviously, like the Dodgers, they aren't built to last in this postseason.
No,
not with how they've been playing.
Nope.
So let's pull a hypothetical here, just for discussional purposes. The Dodgers don't win the division; they get the wild card. You see, they would probably have the 4 seed realistically, which would put them, as of right now, that would put them against hold on, what is that? Is that the Cubs?
That's what I thought.
They'd either be the 4 or 5 seed, so that'd be against the Cubs.
Yeah.
Well, the Dodgers would be favored in Vegas. I think the Cubs could win that series if they actually execute.
Yeah.
So the Dodgers drop that series. Does Dave Roberts put on a Dodgers uniform next year?
Hell no. Hell no.
You think he gets sent home?
Absolutely. How many millions and millions are invested in that team over an extended period of years?
No, and you're right. Like there's, I mean, the whole inspiration behind the name for this show. But my question to you, but the thing of it is, it's not like Dave Roberts had a bunch of managerial missteps, right? They got rocked by injury this year, especially to their pitching staff, because it's not like they didn't have run support. It's not like they weren't throwing up run support, because they definitely were in that regard. So they've been scoring, but they've also given up a lot of runs. Like when I look at it, the only team that has scored more runs in the National League than the Dodgers is the Brewers. But they've also given up more runs than the Pirates. They've given up more runs. They've given up the same amount of runs as the Reds. The Mets have only given up 2 more runs than they have. They've given up more runs than the Mariners or the Astros. They've given up more runs than the Tigers. They've given up more runs than the Blue Jays, the Yankees, or the Red Sox. So based on what I'm seeing here right now, they will have, if the Dodgers going into the postseason, if everything holds the way it is right now, the Dodgers will have given up more runs than anybody else in the postseason because of the pitching injuries that they've had.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just saw that, Kyle. Man, I had to turn off the game to host the show. Me and my fucking priorities. It's the A's though, so it's okay, kind of.
No, it's not. That's terrible. Sorry, Debbie, but it's true.
Well, the A's were the one that broke up Aroldis Chapman's scoreless outing streak.
Yeah.
The second or third longest scoreless outing streak for a reliever in Major League Baseball history was broken up by the A's. And I want to say I think it was Brent Rooker that did it. No, it's Tyler Lindstrom. It was either Brent Rooker or Tyler Lindstrom that did it. There's some bats on that team. Yeah, exactly. Like there's bats on that team and nobody cares because it's the A's and their pitching is terrible.
Yep.
Aroldis Chapman, probably. I think that happens. He's 15 years in. He's got 2 rings.
Dominant with a capital D for many, many seasons.
8-time All-Star. He's gotten the Mariano Rivera American League Reliever of the Year award.
He goes in.
I think he goes in with a neutral hat. I don't think he picks a team unless things go. Yeah, I mean, he's played for a lot of teams, so it's kind of, is it the Reds, the Yankees, the Cubs?
Whichever team pays him to put the hat on is with the hat he'll wear.
The Pirates, the Red Sox, the Rangers. Like, I think that realistically, I think he goes in without a specific team hat on. But he's one of the top relievers of his day. And I think that's the deciding factor in the justification.
Dominant because capital D.
Absolutely. Because when you think about from 2010 to now, if you're deciding on the greatness of a reliever, you're probably comparing him to Aroldis Chapman or somebody else like him. Yep. Realistically. Yep. And I think that's something you can use as a deciding factor because he's pitched consistently, and his time with the Yankees ended a little contentiously. But I think a lot of that has to do with how the organization is being run.
Yep. Well said.
So it's for me, I say he goes in. I'm not saying he's first ballot. 22 AL Ben Cooperstown, a big year for Cardinals. Yeah, that's when Yachty's going in. At least I think, is that what it is? That would be about it, wouldn't it? Because he just retired a couple of years ago. I would think that's what it is. Oh, here's a question for you. When Paul Goldschmidt gets in, because I mean he's a Hall of Fame first baseman. We don't have to miss words on that. Does Goldschmidt go in as a Cardinal, as a D-back, or as a Yankee?
Whichever team pays him the money to put the hat on. That's how it works.
It's Yachty and Pujols. Okay, that was the other one I was forgetting. That's how it works. Whoever pays him the most money.
Yeah.
Well, it's a good thing that the Red Sox paid David Ortiz so much money, because that was a close race. It really was. With him and with Boston, what was it, Minnesota that he was on before he went to the Red Sox? I think it was the Twins.
There's gonna be some good catchers going to the Hall of Fame. You got Yachty, Posey's going in too, and all those detractors that say Posey ain't going in. Yeah,
Posey's going to the Hall of Fame.
Just keep chatting away.
Yeah, he's going.
Those are knowledgeable in baseball. No, he's going in the Baseball Hall of Fame.
He's going to the Hall of Fame. I'm not saying he's a first ballot, but he's going into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he is.
He's going on. Yachty is first ballot because the Yachty's the standard for his generation. Mm-hmm. So you're not gonna. There's no reason to mince words on that one.
No,
but
the GOAT.
Absolutely the GOAT catcher of his day.
Yep.
I mean, overall, I would still probably take Pudge or bench over Yachty if I'm building a lineup.
Oh, absolutely.
But I mean, for his day, he is the standard. Because like the other argument might be just because of the overlap, Salvador Perez. And Salvador Perez's prime of his career was great, but Yachty's the standard.
Yep.
Yachty's the standard. And I do think Salvador Perez gets in. I don't think he's a first ballot by any means. I think Salvador goes. I think he gets in.
No.
Really?
No.
Why not?
What's his hardware?
9-time All-Star, 5-time Gold Glove, a World Series MVP, World Series champion, 5-time Silver Slugger. He got the Roberto Clemente Award. He has a career batting average of 265. He has hit over 300 home runs. He led the league in home runs. He had 48 home runs in 2021. He also led the league in RBIs that year.
Okay. Note to self: don't ask the hardware.
Yeah, it's a relevant question, but Perez has the hardware. He does. Like
he's a quiet hardware collector. I'll tell you that. I don't think of him as a superstar player. I just don't. Sorry.
Well, I mean, it's and I get that, but like even go back to that World Series in 2014. That was only his third year, and he was impactful for the Royals in that World Series, and that's the one that they lost. Plus, he got the MVP the next year.
Yeah.
Like that's it. He's obviously for the early part of his career, Yachty's the standard. But like right now, when you look at catchers, it's Patrick Bailey and Salvador Perez are about where the standard's at. And I would argue it's more Salvador Perez than Patrick Bailey, just because Patrick Bailey can be a little inconsistent. I like him, but little inconsistent. Adley Rutschman, he's young. He's not the standard yet. He has to earn that.
No. Yeah. Well, then I was wrong in my assumption on Perez. Yes, of course, he would go in the Hall of Fame. Apologize to you, Kansas City Royals fans.
No, Yachty is by far the standard. Like, especially somebody who played the position. Yachty is by far the standard. But
there's Berra, Bench, and Molina.
and Pudge.
And Pudge too, yeah.
But yeah, Molina's definitely top 5 catcher all time. Like that part I don't think is very debatable. Some people might try to throw Piazza in there, but he was more of a hitter than an actual good catcher. He wasn't very good behind the plate.
Nope. Good point.
Great at the plate. But like I wanted to be like when I thought about like how I wanted to be as a catcher, I wanted to be Piazza at the plate, and I wanted to be Pudge behind it. Like that's what I wanted to be. But that's
Could you
just
grow the
because
mustache?
No, I clearly, I still can't grow the mustache. It's taken me years to get this to what it is, and it's still patchy.
He rocked a great porn stash. Piazza did.
He did. Oh man, like it was the standard there for a minute. Like even
it was.
There was one time I heard I was listening to an article to an interview that Eck did, that Dennis Eckersley did.
Yeah.
And they kind of talking about mustaches. And even Eck, who has, I mean, one of the best mustaches of all time in baseball, even he called out Piazza's mustache.
Yep.
And he wouldn't call it a porn stash. Like, I can't remember who it was interviewing. He was on a podcast or something. And the person that was interviewing him called it a porn stash. And he wouldn't say it, but he also didn't deny it and was laughing the whole time. So, but yeah, I like Yachty. He was so good. His pop time is ridiculous. His form was perfect. And when you got that stare down from Yachty, it's like the stare down from Aroldis Chapman. Man, you didn't want it.
Yep.
I remember I was at a game one time, and I can't remember where it was. And Yachty threw somebody. No, I was watching it on TV. It was a Cardinals game I was watching on TV. Yachty threw somebody out that was trying to steal second. And they played immediately after he got the out, because obviously they played You Don't Tug on Superman's Cape. And I was laughing hysterically. Because and like my mom, she was watching it with me. She was like, well, what's so funny? I was like, he's the best catcher in the game, Mom. Somebody just tried to run on him. She was, oh, okay. And the timing was just perfect. Just absolutely perfect. All right. Let's see. The Phillies. At least the 2 seed.
Yes.
Having some pitching issues. Both in the rotation and in the bullpen. Do the Phillies make it to the NLCS?
Well, first of all, I want to let all our listeners know that you called this a couple of weeks ago, that you were concerned about the fragility of the pitching staff and their stick-to-itiveness, and so I applaud you for that. You called it out, and we're seeing results.
I mean, and for me, like they were the ones that picked up Walker Buehler, and the original intention with that was supposed to be that he would be a reliever.
Stopgap,
but he has actually been starting. And that is concerning to me for the Phillies, because in that one game, he pitched 5 innings. He gave up 1 run, only walked 1, had 3 strikeouts, hit 1 batter. So not a horrible outing, but in the, what was it, 23 games that he had with Boston, he had a good outing, got injured, came back, was having a good outing, got ejected by an umpire that looks like a fucking Goomba, and then just rode the inconsistency tree until he got DFA'd. So if you're Philly, you're trying to put some reliance on Walker Buehler, it's going to come back to bite you in the ass. And that to me is, I think, something that could have an impact on Philly's downfall.
Yep.
I like the team. I mean, there's a lot of guys on there that a lot of people love to like. Bryce Harper, Trey Turner. I love Christopher Sanchez. He's one of my favorite pitchers in the game right now. Ranger Suarez. Most people who know baseball know Ranger Suarez is a decent pitcher. 2.84 ERA this year. Jose Alvarado, if he comes back for the postseason. Matt Strahm as in their bullpen as well. But Jordan Romano, liability. Duran, their closer, liability. Yeah, I think it's going to happen at some point. Lou Whitaker gets in at some point. I don't know when. I don't know if it's this year, if it's in a future one, but he gets in at some point, I think. I don't know. But yeah, Philly could be the one out of the top teams, I feel like, that could crumble early. They're going to get that break through the divisional round or through the wild card round. And then in the division round, realistically, they're probably going to get, depending on who they face, realistically, they're going to get either the Cubs or the Padres. Unless, wait, hold on. Let me look at, where'd that go? There it is. So they'll get, let's see. Dodgers playing the Mets. The Dodgers win that. So realistically, they'll probably get the Dodgers in the division round. Just being realistic. Because whoever wins out of the Cubs and Padres, if the Mets are the 7th seed, they're not winning that wild card round. They're just not. So that puts the Dodgers in the 3 seed, ending up against the 2 seed, which would be probably Philly, and then whoever wins out of the Cubs and Padres going to Milwaukee. I could see the Cubs or the Padres taking that in 5.
Yes.
Especially with the pitching issues they have. I'm not saying it's going to be a sweep or anything. It's going to take a few games, but I think it goes to 5, and I think they get it.
Yeah, I agree. I think 5 is a good call.
I feel bad for Phillies fans because that's going to be rough. But they just won a Super Bowl. I think they'll be okay. If you have an office building downtown, I would make sure you have insurance now. But you'll be okay.
Oh, sure.
Do the Brewers hold? That's another question. That's a young team like we talked about before. At this point, they're too young and dumb to realize that they should be stressed out right now because they're just playing free. Do you think they can keep it consistent and at least make the LCS?
Yes.
Do they make it past the LCS?
Oh, man. I'd love to see them do it, but I don't think so, no. I think the train stops. Unfortunately, I
Blue
really
Crew
like that
train
team.
stops.
Yeah, I really like that team.
They're a good young team. They have some
Yeah.
veterans, but they built a lot through the draft. And that's,
Yep.
I mean, the Brewers represent what the owners believe can happen with a team, but how consistent is that going to stay? Because a couple of those guys are going to get paid.
Yep.
Now that they got a ring on their hand.
Yep.
You know, you put a ring on their
And
finger, they want your money. And they should. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
So how long?
I'm rooting for the Cubs. I'm rooting for the Brewers.
Same.
Fuck the Yankees. Fuck the Dodgers. Boston, that's your team, so I'll say best team wins. I won't say fuck them, but only out of respect for you. But
I appreciate that. I appreciate the honesty too.
But I really like the Cubs. I really like the Brewers a lot.
I do too. My only concern is I wonder, because of how much the Cubs backslid, because they were one of those teams, kind of like the Mets. They had best record in baseball for a while, and then all of a sudden they didn't, and they never climbed back up. But as of right now, they also have the second best run differential in the National League behind the Brewers. Pretty much any other division outside of the NL East and the AL East, they would be winning that division if they were in it.
Yep.
I think that says something.
Yep, it sure does. I think right now with where they're at, I mean, my thinking is the word that comes to mind is do no harm. I mean, keep playing good consistently. Don't do any harm to yourself, and you'll get in.
I agree. They're scoring runs. They're not giving up a lot of runs, which I think is great, because like they are like third or fourth in runs scored and near the bottom in runs allowed, or near the top in runs allowed as well. Is, they've only given up 610. Second division, probably second in third in all the team and playoff teams, because the Padres have only given up 590. So the offense is there and the defense is there,
which is a great combination, because when we get to the playoffs, those games are 5-inning games for the pitchers. It's just 5 innings.
Oh yeah.
And they turn it over to the middle reliever, then the bullpen, and it's see you later. Good night. Great win.
Yep. And they do have a good pitching staff.
They do.
Matthew Boyd, a lot of people didn't realize he was going to be so good this year, but he has a 3.2 ERA. Shota Imanaga, 3.2. Cade Horton, 2.6. 2.66. Jameson Taillon, who I don't think gets enough respect. His ERA is still sub 4. His whip's only a 1.09. He is a really good pitcher. I've seen him pitch in person. He's got a great arm. Colin Ray, which is your fifth starter, he's got a 4.2 ERA, but he'll be a bullpen guy in the playoffs because you only have a 4-man rotation.
Yep.
So, he's going to be one of those where he doesn't see a lot, but he's going to be like a middle reliever guy so that they can kind of alternate, but they're not going to have him pitch a lot in case one of the actual starters goes down and they need to throw him in on that fourth day.
Right.
So
I like their depth. I mean, they're built for the playoffs.
Absolutely.
They're built for postseason. I like their depth.
Are they going to have Ryan? Are they going to have Ryan Brazier back? They're going to have Ryan Brazier back by the holidays, and he's got playoff experience. So their bullpen: Brad Keller, Caleb Thielbar, Taylor Rogers. I know has playoff experience. Drew Pomeranz has playoff experience. Ryan Brazier has playoff experience.
Yep.
Kitteridge, I'm pretty sure he has playoff experience. Like that's
Strong.
That's a lot of experience, postseason experience between your starters and your relievers. That's a good thing.
Yep.
That's a good thing. The Cubs are definitely a team that can slip through and slap a few guys around that weren't expecting. That could be, I mean, if the Cubs hold that 3 seed, Cubs can, or if the Dodgers hold that 3 seed, Cubs beat the Padres in the wild card round, then turn around and take the Dodgers out in the second round, and they're in the LCS.
Yep. It could happen.
Absolutely. All right, couple real quick for the American League. Regardless of who wins the AL West, the Astros or the Mariners, which right now, like I said, the Astros have it by half a game. Regardless of who wins the AL West, does either team make it past the divisional round?
No. Nope.
I can't disagree. And there's not enough. I haven't seen enough from either team. And obviously, what Cal Raleig's doing right now is ridiculous. Is it 56, 57 home runs, something like that he's at now? Yep. He's already beaten Mantle for switch hitting, for switch hitter home runs in a season. Which obviously fantastic.
If he was playing for the Yankees, he'd be a god right now.
That's, you're not wrong. But I was talking with, just kind of like what we talked about before. When Judge had that 62 home run season, he did it hitting 311. Rally's hitting 247. In theory, right now, Rally is exactly what people keep saying Judge is. All long ball. And that's, and we didn't want Judge to get it because that's all he was, but that's not all Judge is, because he's hitting over 300 again this year.
Yep.
He's the first Yankees player since A-Rod did it in 2001 and 2002. I'm sorry, Jeter. It was either A-Rod or Jeter. I think it was Jeter in 2001, 2002 to go back-to-back 50 home run seasons. That's not easy. I mean, that's what, 3 out of the last 4 out of the last 5 years. He's hitting north of 50 home runs.
Oh.
That's nuts. Like, fuck the Yankees and fuck Aaron Judge. But those are realistically some stupid good numbers.
Yes,
like, I would respect it a hell of a lot more if it was literally any other team. Because fuck the Yankees. But
fuck the Yankees.
Like, can't he get traded? Like, why couldn't the Dodgers trade for him? It'd be easier to appreciate.
Fuck you now. Fuck you.
You don't want to face Judge 14 times a season?
Let's dig up Babe Ruth while we're at it and give the Dodgers too. I mean,
I mean, come on. You got Rafi Devers now.
Yeah.
Rafi Devers.
Yeah.
I mean, you almost have to get Judge to the Dodgers or to the Padres
to make it fair.
You can have Devers Devers versus Judge. I mean, you gotta make it fair, because
okay.
Manny Machado ain't gonna hold up against Devers game after game.
Oh yeah, fuck him too. That is a perpetual fuck you to Machado. Forever and ever and ever.
One of the things that I find absolutely hilarious is that they have Manny Machado Funkos at the Walmarts out here. And I look, if I go to Walmart, like I go to the Funko section every time I go to Walmart because I want to see what's there. I like the collection that I have. I want to see what else I can get. I try to find a lot of the sports ones. There has been one Manny Machado sitting there for 4 months.
It has to be a mistake.
Listen, I have seen them go through easily a case of Angel Reese Funko Pops. I have seen them go through a bunch of Breonna Stewart, Caitlin Clark. WNBA players are selling out in the Midwest where there is not a WNBA team for 1,000 miles more than one Manny Machado Funko Pop.
I love it. Now my Valkyries are in the playoffs playing tonight. Probably gonna lose tonight and be out of it. But hey, first season into the playoffs, WNBA, yeah, baby.
That's man. The Valkyries up right now.
They are?
They're beating Minnesota right now, 41-26.
Woohoo!
The Phoenix Mercury won tonight, 86-60. So they actually tied that series up too. So it looks like both of those series are going to game 3. I loved going to Mercury games when I was a kid. I grew up watching the early days of Diana Taurasi. I absolutely love her.
Goat.
Absolute goat. Absolute goat. I love watching her play. I remember because my cousin was a ball kid for the Mercury when I was a kid. And so we got free tickets all the time.
Nice.
And I remember there was I'd been to a couple games, and then there was that movie that Disney Channel had. It was a Disney Channel original movie about the blonde twins that played in the early WNBA.
Missed it.
And it was a cute little movie. It really was. And I had a thing for blondes, so I definitely paid attention. Because blonde twins, that was just fascinating to me at the time. I was also like 12, maybe. So there's more than one reason that I like that movie. But
puberty.
Yeah, I got hit by this is around the time I got hit by the puberty truck. And so that movie, I mean, it's real hard to get a wrist injury watching a WNBA movie, but I made it happen. But no, like I enjoyed watching the WNBA, and like I saw that movie, and then the next time we went to a game, like there was a lot of people there. I was like, did a Disney Channel movie do this? And there's a bunch of just little kids all over that had gotten to watch that movie.
It's fun watching these women play with great enthusiasm and with hard initiative.
Amazing.
And they're amazing athletes, and it's a lot of fun to watch.
I'm
a big fan of WNBA, big fan. And so thank God, Steph Curry should get a lot of credit for what's going on in the WNBA too, because he was forward thinking on that and has always backed the WNBA, singles out players,
there's quite a few players in the NBA that have done that, and I think it's great.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that we see that same kind of attitude, because like with the women's, and I've shared it on my personal Facebook, like some of the clips from the Women's Professional Baseball League tryouts that happened at Nationals Park at the end of August, which I one of the things I thought was cool to start the tryouts. They had a ceremonial first pitch that was thrown out by one of the former players of the league that formed during World War II.
Nice.
And she still had an arm. She still had an arm too. Like I thought it was, even though she's like 90, like it was a great throw.
But
I mean, she's like 90. She's probably under a bunch of medications. steroids, antibiotics, like, I mean,
Preparation H.
anti-inflammatories. I mean, the
Yeah.
list is endless.
Oh yeah.
She's not passing in a Major League Baseball drug test, and it's all prescription, like the real kind of prescription, not what players claim.
Yeah.
But I hope that as that league develops, we see Major League players show them support. We see some Major League support for the softball league next year as it continues to grow.
It'd be a
Because there's some
win-win.
remarkable talent. Absolutely. You know,
I mean, you want to build a base of young female fans for Major League Baseball. Support these leagues.
100%.
Yeah.
But the other thing for me though is Major League Baseball, like the investment that they make in this as this continues to grow, has to be from the high school level up. Because you have to give schools money to have quality programs for this, because you've got to build your talent pool. And that's how Major League Baseball sees their money. Because there's not a lot of high schools that have a girls' baseball team. They have softball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And a lot of these softball teams aren't well funded because it's not the cool sport like football or basketball.
Right.
And it costs the school more money because like obviously like at the NCAA level, that's the third highest revenue generating sport for college sports as a whole is women's softball. But that, I mean, those programs are better funded than high school programs, which kind of makes sense, but you need to get high school programs better funded. You need to incentivize high schools to start girls baseball teams. And like one of the things that I always saw was that I thought was interesting was at my high school, they had the girls soccer team and they had the boys soccer team. The girls played in the spring, the boys played in the fall. We would go out and support them during the spring, go out to home games. We would, bus up and go to some away games when we could. But a lot of us, like I played baseball. The other guys did various sports. So we couldn't always do it, but we tried to go support them and stuff as we could because, we respected them. And we would do co-ed leagues together during the summer. Like we would all get together, we would form 2 or 3 teams and go hit a city league somewhere and do some co-ed stuff and work each other out. And then during the fall, they were either doing all city league together or they were training with us. And so like, that's one of the reasons why I say women's soccer, the only thing that's more violent of a sport than women's soccer is a Mexican prison. Because those girls, man, they play dirty. If that ref's not looking and you have a ponytail, you might as well feel it touching your ass crack because it's going to anyway. Because you're going to have some girl from the other team who's going to run behind you, just yank that shit down. But this is the kind of support that these schools should be giving to these programs to build that talent pool, because that's the only way we're going to see a thriving professional league for professional softball or professional women's baseball in 10 years' time. You have to build the talent pool now because it's the only way it's going to get there.
Yep.
Because otherwise I know they've got plans to like expand teams and stuff. They're starting small, which I think is the right thing to do.
Yep.
But if you don't build the talent pool, you're not going to be able to expand. And that's going to limit your money and it's going to become a loss. And that's what I don't want.
Can't sustain it. No. Yeah, you're right.
So the league needs to be investing in programs at the high school level and incentivizing training for these athletes so that the talent pool's better.
Yep.
Because the hardest part about building a talent pool is resources. Create your resources.
Well said.
All right, man. We'll go ahead and wrap it up for tonight. For those of you that have been in the chat, we appreciate you. We will be back next week. I will probably be closer to having a schedule for when I'm going to be doing games once they get more information out as far as what the playoff schedule is going to look like, as far as at least being able to talk about the wild card round. Hopefully next week I'll be able to get more information on that. You can catch me Monday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern on the Sports Report podcast. Hit me up on my TikTok page at FGD7, spelled out SEVEN, where I post the MLB Morning Minute every day. And I've been starting to post some video game videos just because Why not? Getting ready to end baseball season here in a month, and I gotta have something else to do in the meantime. Also, a big shout out and love, as always, to Wire to Wire Sports. Thank you for letting us be a part of you guys. Wire to Wire Sports has great sports programming morning and evening, pretty much every day of the week, hosted by individuals that know what the hell they're talking about, more than I do, at least. And very talented, charismatic individuals that would love to share their thoughts with you. So definitely check it out. For my co-host, Craig, I am Seven. Thank you for watching Podcast Name Deferred this week. We will see you next week, 10 p.m. Eastern, on all Wire to Wire Sport networks. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.